Greetings, dear viewers. Imagine that today you woke up and discovered that all the mirrors in your house had disappeared. How would you style your hair, apply makeup, evaluate your appearance before leaving home? For most of us, such a situation would be a real catastrophe. However, there exists an amazing people in the world whose women create incredibly complex hairstyles and adorn themselves without a single glance in a mirror, and they have been doing this for many centuries. If you're interested in unique cultural traditions and amazing stories about how people adapt to life in conditions completely unlike ours, hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications. This way, you won't miss new episodes about unusual customs and traditions of peoples around the world that make us look at our own lives from a new angle. And today we'll embark on a journey to northwestern Namibia to meet one of the most distinctive peoples of Africa, the Himba. The Himba people, or Ovahimba as they call themselves, are a group of semi-nomadic cattle herders living in the arid Kunene region on the border with Angola. Their population is about 50,000 people, and they are known for their amazing resistance to changes in the modern world. While many traditional cultures gradually disappear under the pressure of globalization, the Himba maintain their way of life practically unchanged for centuries. And one of the most striking manifestations of their culture is the unique appearance of women. The first thing that catches the eye when meeting Himba women is their skin covered with a reddish mixture. This mixture, which they call otjize, consists of ochre, animal fat, and aromatic herbs. It is applied to the entire body and hair, giving the skin a characteristic red copper tint. But otjize is not just a cosmetic product. In the harsh climate of Namibia, where temperatures can exceed 40 degrees, this mixture protects the skin from sunburn, dehydration, and insect bites. Additionally, it has antiseptic properties and helps maintain body cleanliness in conditions where water is a precious resource. The process of preparing otjize is a true art passed down from mother to daughter. First, women grind pieces of ochre mixed with bark from certain trees to a powder state. Then this powder is mixed with melted butter or animal fat and aromatic herbs. The recipe for this mixture may differ slightly among different families and is kept secret. Himba women apply otjize to their skin daily, and this ritual takes up a significant part of their morning. But if applying otjize to the skin might seem like a relatively simple task, creating traditional Himba hairstyles without a mirror is a real feat. Hairstyles among the Himba are not just an element of beauty, they have deep social significance. By the hairstyle, one can determine a woman's age, marital status, number of children, and even social status. It's a kind of visual passport that tells everything most important about its owner. Girls before adolescence wear two braids directed forward. When a girl reaches sexual maturity, her hairstyle changes. Hair is braided into many thin braids that completely cover the head. A married woman wears a headdress called irembe, a leather headpiece decorated with many thin braids. Irembe symbolizes respect for the husband and his lineage. Widows, after a period of mourning, remove the irembe and wear one braid at the back of the head. Now imagine that all these complex hairstyles are created without a single glance in a mirror. How is this possible? It's all about collective work and skill transmission. Himba women never do hairstyles independently. This is always a collective process involving several women, usually relatives. While one woman sits, others work on her hair, and each is responsible for a certain part of the hairstyle. The process can take several hours and is accompanied by conversations, songs, and teaching. Young girls from an early age observe this process and gradually master braiding skills, first on doll hair, then on the hair of younger sisters or friends. Interestingly, Himba women don't use any modern tools to create hairstyles. All necessary actions are performed only by hands and with the help of a few simple devices: wooden sticks for separating strands and sharpened bones for partings. Hair is treated with a mixture of otjize and plant oils, which makes it more pliable for braiding and protects from drying out. It's also amazing that Himba hairstyles are preserved for a long time, from several weeks to several months. Women cover their hair with otjize daily, but redo the hairstyle itself only as needed. To preserve the hairstyle during sleep, special wooden headrests are used that allow keeping the head elevated without damaging the complex construction of braids. Now let's talk about the decorations that complement the image of Himba women. They are just as complex and symbolic as the hairstyles and are also created and worn without the help of mirrors. One of the most noticeable decorations is the Omahona necklace, made from iron or copper beads, shells, and leather strips. This massive collar symbolizes fertility and prosperity. The larger and heavier the Omahona, the higher the status of its owner. On their arms and legs, Himba women wear many bracelets made of metal, leather, and beads. These decorations are not only beautiful but also have practical significance. Their jingling scares away snakes and other dangerous animals, which is important when working in the field or herding cattle. Interestingly, some bracelets are put on in childhood and worn for life, gradually increasing in size along with the woman's growth. Special attention should be paid to leather decorations on ankles called omohiva. They protect from snake and insect bites and also serve as a kind of amulet. It is believed that omohiva help a woman stand firmly on the ground both literally and figuratively, maintain balance when walking on rough terrain, and remain strong in life's trials. The process of making decorations is also collective. Women gather together to process leather, string beads, or forge metal parts. All these skills are passed down from generation to generation through practical learning. Little girls from early years participate in these gatherings, first just observing, then performing simple tasks, and then more complex operations. How do Himba women evaluate the result of their work without mirrors? They have developed other ways of control. First, this is tactile control. Women feel with their hands the symmetry and arrangement of hairstyle or decoration elements. Second, this is verbal feedback from other women who point out flaws or inaccuracies. Third, this is the use of natural reflecting surfaces, calm water in vessels or polished metal objects, although such opportunities are limited. It's worth noting that life without mirrors affects not only appearance, but also self-perception. In Himba culture, there is no concept of narcissism or excessive preoccupation with one's appearance. Beauty for them is not conformity to some abstract standards, but proper execution of traditions and observance of social norms. A woman is considered beautiful if her hairstyle and decorations correspond to her status and age, not because she looks a certain way. Interestingly, in recent years, with the growth of tourism, some Himba women have gained access to mirrors and even to photographs of themselves taken by tourists. Their reaction to their reflection often surprises observers. Many of them laugh or express surprise, not immediately recognizing themselves. Some anthropologists note that for people who grew up without constant access to their reflection, the concept of visual self-identification develops differently. They perceive themselves more through social roles and relationships with others than through physical appearance. Tourism, however, creates certain problems for preserving Himba traditions. On one hand, tourist interest helps support the community's economy and provides incentive for maintaining traditional lifestyle. On the other hand, constant attention to appearance can distort the meaning of traditional practices, turning them from important cultural rituals into tourist attractions. Some Himba women have begun creating special, brighter, and more noticeable versions of traditional hairstyles and decorations for photographing with tourists. These tourist versions differ from those used in daily life and sometimes include elements that have no traditional meaning but are attractive to foreigners. Thus, a kind of double standard is formed, one for internal use in the community, another for presentation to the outside world. It's important to understand that Himba traditions are not just an exotic curiosity. This is a whole system of knowledge and skills that helps preserve cultural identity in a changing world. Each hairstyle, each decoration is a way to tell a story about oneself and one's place in the community without using words. In the modern world, where we are constantly surrounded by mirrors, selfies, and filters on social networks, the Himba experience may seem almost unimaginable. We are accustomed to constantly controlling our appearance, adjusting it according to changing beauty standards. For us, a mirror is a tool of self-control and often a source of anxiety. For the Himba, appearance is primarily an expression of belonging to the community and respect for traditions. It's interesting to think about how our attitude toward ourselves would change if we, like the Himba, saw our reflection only occasionally or not at all. Perhaps we would become less fixated on minor flaws and value more the body's functionality and its ability to perform necessary tasks. Maybe we would learn to better feel our body from within rather than evaluating it only from the outside. Himba traditions remind us that beauty can exist without constant self-control in a mirror. That more important may be the process of creation, interaction with other people, and knowledge transmission than the final result captured in reflection. That collective work and mutual aid can be more important than individual perfectionism. Particularly impressive is how Himba women use their limited resources to create beauty. In a region where water is so precious that full bathing is a rare luxury, they found a way to maintain hygiene and look attractive using otjize. In conditions where there is no access to ready-made decorations, they create stunningly beautiful objects from available materials: leather, metal, natural dyes. We cannot fail to mention the spiritual aspect of Himba traditions. Many beauty rituals are connected with ancestor worship and belief in their constant presence in community life. For example, smoke from certain herbs that women use for body fumigation before applying otjize is considered a way of communication with ancestor spirits, and some elements of hairstyles and decorations have direct connection with religious beliefs. It's important to note that, despite preserving many traditions, Himba life doesn't remain completely unchanged. The younger generation increasingly faces influence from the outside world through schools, tourism, and migration to cities. Some young women begin experimenting with traditional elements, adding modern materials or slightly changing forms. This is not abandonment of traditions, but rather their natural evolution, confirming the viability of Himba culture. Researchers note the amazing ability of the Himba to adapt their traditions to new conditions without losing their essence. For example, in some families where women work in cities, beauty rituals are transferred to weekends but retain their symbolic meaning and collective character. And in communities where access to modern materials has appeared, traditional decorations may include new elements while maintaining traditional form and meaning. Such flexibility allows hope that the unique Himba traditions will be preserved in the future, even if some of their aspects will change. After all, true cultural sustainability lies not in rigid adherence to unchanging rules, but in the ability to preserve one's essence while adapting to changing conditions. The study of Himba traditions makes us think about more global questions, about the diversity of paths of human development, about the multiplicity of beauty concepts, and about how different cultures find their unique solutions to similar problems. In a world striving for unification, the Himba experience reminds us of the value of cultural diversity and the importance of preserving alternative ways of perceiving and organizing the world. Summing up our journey into a world without mirrors, we can say that Himba traditions are not just an exotic curiosity, but a holistic system of knowledge and practices that helps the community maintain its identity and adapt to difficult living conditions. This is a reminder that human ingenuity and the pursuit of beauty manifest in the most diverse forms, even in the absence of tools and technologies familiar to us. If you enjoyed this immersion into the unique culture of the Himba people, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. Tell us in the comments, could you live even a week without mirrors, and which aspects of Himba traditions impressed you most? Maybe there are other traditional cultures you'd like to learn about in future episodes. In the near future, we will continue exploring amazing traditions of peoples around the world who find non-standard solutions to everyday tasks and preserve their uniqueness despite globalization. Stay with us, because understanding the diversity of human experience enriches our perception of the world and helps us better understand ourselves. Until next time,